He served a year, and Dwight served 3 months, and now they're down here in federal prison.
Don't they call that double jeopardy?
Well,
Yes, they do.
They do, but here's the thing: the judge in the case, he made two legal statements when he sentenced them to a year and 3 months. He said to sentence these guys to 5 years for burning 139 acres of scrub brush, it's worth $100, shocks the conscience.
Yes,
And he said, and it would be cruel and unusual punishment and a protection under the 8th Amendment right. So the federal government came back and they went ahead and sent these guys down here to prison. You know what that tells me about our federal government? They have no conscience and they don't care about just running over our constitutional rights of cruel and unusual punishment. That's what tells me about the feds. They're ruthless, and they'll do whatever they can to get what they want. And they want these guys as ranch. That's what they want.
That's why they're here. That's why these guys are in prison here.
That's
So
right.
the government can
So
steal
the
their ranch.
BLM in the state of Oregon, when I'm elected governor, we're going to exert state sovereignty, and we're going to force the federal government back into their 18 limited. There's only 18 limited things that they can do, and all the agencies, BLM, IRS, Forest Service, U.S. Department of Transportation, or U.S. Department of Education, U.S. Department of Agriculture, they're all unconstitutional. And I'm going to say to every one of my sheriffs, go to every single federal agency in your jurisdiction and tell them they're done operating in the state of Oregon. Before they talk to any business person or any individual in the state of Oregon, they are going to bring it to the governor's office. And if they can't show wrongdoing, then this federal agency will not be able to meet with or do anything to our citizens. So we're going to exert state sovereignty in Oregon, and we're just going to push the feds back out. You know, the national forests are going to become the state forests. If I got to go out there and nail that thing on there myself right over top of that national thing, I'll do it. Because Oregon belongs to Oregonians. It doesn't belong to the feds. 53% currently of the state of Oregon is unconstitutionally managed by the federal government.
And you go back
And it's gonna stop.
and if you go back east of Colorado,
right.
the average state east of Colorado is anywhere from 3 to 6% federally owned. In 1787, before the Constitution was signed, the Northwest Ordinance made it very clear that when new states were admitted to the Union, they were to be admitted on equal footing. If 53% of the state of Oregon is controlled by the federal government, that's 53% of the land cannot be taxed for the purposes of supporting education in Oregon. Frankly, in California, there's 100 million acres in California. 44% of California is federally owned. You go back to Connecticut and they're 2% federally owned. Now, is that equality of the states and equal footing? I'm afraid not.
And it's interesting, those two states you just mentioned, they're also having problems with their budgets and being bankrupt, basically.